Hey, 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 welcome everybody. Come on in. Come on in.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, there you go.
Hey, we can
Hey,
hear. Welcome. Give everybody a second. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Where in the world? Hello, where are you tuning in from? And is this one of the first calls you've done with us? Have you done a workshop with us before? How did you hear about us? And if you're in our private community, drop that in too. I'm seeing some new faces and some very familiar faces. New York, Atlanta. Nice. Scottsdale. Welcome. Nashville,
Hmm.
Pittsburgh. Hey, Nick.
Hey,
Vancouver, Chicago. Good morning. Scotland. Nice. New York. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. I'm on the Atrium Sync program. Nice. Cool. That's awesome. First workshop. Newbie, welcome. Yeah, let me know. San Luis Obispo, you're near me. Very cool. St. Paul, Maui. Oh my gosh, I just love how, we have this virtual experience of people all over the world. Denver. Um, Very cool. So how many of you this is your first, I saw one, Hartford. One person said this is their first time workshop with us. How many of you guys are new? And how many of this is like your 100th time seeing me on Zoom? Probably this week because we met earlier. Nick, first one, nice. First time workshop, Mike, welcome, welcome. I love it. All right, come on in. Cool. Yay. Well, I like the towel, Kristen, on your head. Welcome. We have Germany in the house. I see you. Houston. Okay. Well, you guys, this is going to be such an awesome call. Welcome to this call. It's going to be 60 minutes, so I'll be ending on time. And yeah, we have a lot to cover today. So today's call is about how really to write a fantastic pitch email. And not only that, but we have a guest who's coming in. One of the agencies, if you saw that we got some feedback, some of you guys have downloaded, probably a lot of you guys downloaded that list of 100 sync licensing agencies. And some of you probably were sending some emails to some of them. And one of those agencies that gave us some feedback on the emails that they've been getting is here with us today. And I'm going to bring him on probably in about 30 minutes once we get through some meat of this workshop, to give you more specifics on what he's seeing and basically, over the span of his career, giving you guys some really great tactics and strategies. So recently, I think it was maybe 2 months ago, I held a workshop, which maybe some of you were there, on like how to get your song signed. And we talked about pitch emails, we talked about branded playlists, we talked about how to figure out which agency to send your music to. But I really want to dial in today in the actual pitch email, because it's an important, it's not only just important in terms of the tangible email you're sending, but the mindset that you need to put yourself in as an independent artist, as an independent creator, to really own the place that you're writing these emails from. And I think that is the work. And we're going to be talking about one, just like what's the formula of a great email, but also what is the place from which you're writing that email. So for a lot of you guys are new in here, which is awesome. And if you don't know who I am Sonnet Simmons. I am a singer. I am a songwriter. I am an artist. I am co-founder of 2Indie with John Kleinbell, who is not on this call today. So it's me solo and our amazing team. You'll see Julianne in the chat there. She is there to answer any of your questions, and she's awesome. Awesome possum. I have had songs licensed in ads like GoDaddy and Volkswagen and Starbucks and Nike and Coca-Cola and Nevia and Microsoft and Reebok and more. And I used to run a licensing agency called Catch the Moon Music. I traveled the US meeting music supervisors and ad agencies and pitching and representing a catalog of other independent music and finding homes in sync for these artists that I represented under Kathy Heller's program. And also I helped teach her classes on sync for six-figure songwriting for a number of years. And this is really where I cut my teeth on learning how to pitch, because certainly before that, I was making all the mistakes. I was like, here's my bio, here's a couple of links to my website, and don't want them to not see anything, and didn't really quite understand how it worked on the other end. So Kathy Heller, if you guys are not familiar with her, she is like the queen of an amazing pitch email. And so I really got to work under her. I was taking a sync class with her in person and noticed she had no team. It was just her. She was like this amazing human being. And I was like, hey, can I work for you? And she ended up living down the street from me. And I would just show up at her house every day with coffee before I had kiddos and would like, what can I do today? What can I do today? And eventually I started working for her and running this licensing agency. And part of that working for her was like, let's work on pitching. So I sat at her kitchen table and she took out these 2 jars of peanut butter one day because my part of my job was to call 25 ad agencies a day, cold call, and connect with them and figure out how to create a relationship so that I would be somebody that they would call our agency. So don't go calling ad agencies as an independent artist. That is more for the agency to create that network, which is why you want to get your song signed to these sync agencies, right? So she brought out these 2 jars of peanut butter and she had like a Jiffy and like a natural kind. She's like, okay, pitch me, sell me on these peanut butters, like pretend you're calling me and you're telling me like what you have. And I was like, okay, so one is natural and it has no sugar and la la, and like going through the things of what I have. And she was like, okay, I've already tuned out. This is not working for me. You are not acknowledging me. Like, I don't know how to connect with you. Where is the humanity in this? And so we went back and forth. I actually have it recorded on my voice notes still, this amazing conversation, being put on the spot of like selling peanut butter to her. And from that point, that is like the deep dive. And then I would write the emails for our company and she would give me feedback on the emails and we would tweak them. And I'm sure you guys know like the feeling of writing a kick-ass email where it's like, oh, just a little bit of personality. You really know who you're writing. So you felt like you were able to acknowledge who they are. You were really clear on what it is that you wanted. You have a great link to send them of great music and everything just fits really well. It takes some time to curate an email like that. And that's what we're really going to dive into. Like, how do you make that email that just feels so freaking good to send? You've covered all your bases. You're coming at it from a space of like really owning what it is you have to offer and being in partnership with that person on the other end and knowing that they are a human being. So before I dive into, the real depths of these emails, I would love to hear from you guys. Like, what do you think is the most important aspect of a good pitch email, like in your opinion? Drop it on in.
I think, can I say,
Oh
can I
yeah,
just
say
say,
it. I love it.
I think, being to the point,
Mhm.
mentioning what you like about them, explaining how your stuff can mash with theirs and how you'd just be thrilled for them to listen to it. And, pretty much say thank you for your time and sign off.
I love it. Great. I love it. You've got it. Anybody else have something else they want to share?
Sure, I'll jump in.
Okay.
I think
Hey, Marcus.
depending what's up?
What's
Depending
up?
on the context, knowing the keywords for the person you're reaching out to. So metadata, one stop. If I'm reaching out to trailer libraries, saying trailer or trailerization always works, and sending a disco link, letting them know what's in the link, and having that link categorized if it's different categories, pop, hip hop, trailers, but showing that you have a little insight into that side of sync or whatever the music side of business is. has helped, or at least has helped me. So there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, for sure. Know that you like mean business, you know business. I love James Whelan here saying being of service. Yes, like how can you be of service as partnership with them? Let them know one-stop masters. Yes, all the business side, how your music will fulfill their needs. Yes. How it will fulfill their needs without being like, hey, you need this music because it's exactly what you need. Nobody ever wants to hear that, right? But yes, like letting them know what it is you do and they get to decide if that fulfills their need. I am going to take it one step further. I think all of you guys are right. But like an email, like writing a song, there's a formula for writing a great song, but it doesn't mean that it's going to hit the heart. It doesn't mean it's going to be a song that you're going to press play over and over again. If it's got the right formula, it's got the verse, the pre-chorus, the chorus. So all those things I think are incredibly important. It's not going to work if you don't have those things. But in my opinion, the most important piece is coming to the table and understanding that you are sitting at the table with that person you are writing to. You are sitting at the table. You have value, and you can humbly, respectfully own your value. And I think a lot of people as independent artists and coming from the industry that can be really grueling and grinding and lonely and mysterious, we come from this place of like, well, two places. The starving artist, I need you to respond to my email. I need you to hear this music. I need you to sign this music because my career depends on this. And I just like everything, jamming it down their throat, really putting it out there. Like, look at all the things I've done. See how you need to notice me. And if you don't, like, my career is, your ability to see me is what brings me value. And the other way that I see a lot of emails come in is this apologetic, like, I don't know what my value is. I don't know what my worth is. And, maybe you could just, if you have just a little bit of time, maybe if I'm so sorry to take up your time. And that also puts you in a position of like, you're not sitting at the table. You're not sitting at this table having a conversation with somebody who you have just as much right as they do to sit at this table because you're making amazing music. You've been making music your whole life, and you are here on this earth to make that music. And so presenting radio ready, professional sounding music in a way that is effective, that is efficient, that is humble, that is respectful. You go into a conversation and you're sitting at a table with somebody, you've done some research on who you're talking to. You haven't just read the first line of their website and you're like, cool, no, I got you. You come in and you acknowledge who they are. You know that you want to be in partnership with this person, and you are sharing what your side of the partnership can offer. And you can let them decide if that's a good fit for them. So in my opinion, the mindset of what we bring to the table and how we say it and how we share who we are and how we really take that place of humanity is one of the missing links that gets people to say, oh, what a cool email. Like, let me click on that. I recently just wrote this email to somebody that I feel like it took me a little while. Like I went back, I kind of tweaked it. I read their email. I went through their LinkedIn. I went to their website. I was like, well, what are they all about? Like, what's their essence, so that I can really speak to that and know who I'm writing and not just kind of phone it in. And I finished that email and I was like, dang, that is a good email. That is such a good email. Like there's a little bit of personality in there. They know exactly what I need and want. And I acknowledged who they are and make them feel good about who they are. And that I've taken some time to respect that place. So I think all the things you guys said are important pieces of the formula, and coming at it from a place of really owning your value as an independent artist. So those are some of the things I really want people to understand. Okay, so one of the other things here is, why are you writing that person? Why are you writing them? And that takes a little bit of time. So I think this agency we're going to bring on, I'm really excited because he's going to share some strategies and some real like tips on how you can create how you can make sure that in your email, you're being concise and you're letting them know why you're writing them. And it takes time to actually research each person you write. We don't want to just phone it in, because when you get those emails, you don't really want to respond. And having a link in there. So sometimes when I was on this agency, I Catch the Moon, I would get these emails. So consider yourself me, somebody sitting on the other end of the desk, getting these emails. Maybe I have 20 in there from the last 6 hours of people sending me their music. A lot of people have hundreds of emails in there. And I open it up and it's a brick of copy, this much. And I know most of you guys are not doing this anymore, but a brick of copy and then a link to your website. So as a person who's very busy, who's got a lot of things, my main job is to make sure I'm pulling music from the artists that I already represent to make sure that I can fulfill the briefs that are coming in from music supervisors. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, I don't have time to figure out who this person is and what they do. What is their sound? How do I know if it'll fit in my catalog? You know, people in the music industry are advocates of music. So make it easy for them to understand how you can be in partnership together, because that's what you're asking for is this is what I do. We could maybe be great partners. And so when you can give them a clear link to 3 to 5 of your songs that are pro level, that are mixed, that are mastered, that really stand for your best work, that's the link that should be included. It's streamable and downloadable if they choose to. Disco is great. Don't let it download automatically, only if they choose to download it. A lot of people come in with this question of, well, I write a lot of things. I do a lot of different sounds. So what kind of music should I have? Everything in there. And that is a part of your, hey, this is who I am. So if you are somebody who's like, I do hip hop, I do jazz, I do this, I do that, I do this, I would look at that email and be like, I don't even know where to start with putting them in the catalog. But if you can clearly say to me, hey, I make folk music that's whimsical, guitar and vocal driven, and I make 90s grunge rock. And you know, people have compared me to this artist and this artist. I have an idea of what you sound like, the different types of music that you're capable of, and I'm ready to click on that link because you've made a very clear story for me of how I get 90s grunge briefs sometimes, and I definitely get singer-songwriter, guitar-driven folk music. So I wonder what this is going to sound like. Those are things that I can understand are needs that I have, and we could maybe be in partnership with. And if they like your music and you've got a ton of other stuff that you do and other songs, they're going to ask you for more. So you don't need to give them your entire catalog. Because what we want to remember is that they're a human being, just like we're a human being. What else? So I am going to open it up. Will a recording of this meeting be available? Yes. Okay. What can I do for you? Attitude. Yes. Sorry, I wasn't checking any of your links over here. So what can I do for you? Attitude. And also, like, this is what I do. Attitude, but not in a arrogant, bombastic kind of way, but in a like, you know, you are a music creator. Like there is value to that. And we have been taught and we've been shown that like there's no value in that, and that we have to like you know, beg for somebody to take notice. And what we actually have to do is own what we do and learn how to present ourselves with honor and respect, and to know and honor what the other person is doing and how busy they are, and really take our seat at the table as a person in the music industry. Independent artists have a ton of power in the music industry. We are not begging for scraps. If you are making great music, you have value, and it's owning that in a respectful way. And it's without assuming that you have what they need, because nobody ever wants to be told you have exactly what they need and you have the best, you know, best music ever. And you might not be a fit for them, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that your music's not great. So we've got that. I want to go into a quick little idea of the formula. If you guys have our book, this little formula thing is in there. And then I'm going to open it up to David to give a little bit more of the meat and potatoes on like tips and strategies and what he sees and what he wants to see. You know, we open it up with a short hello and how you know and why you're reaching out to them, and more like, you know, oh, my producer so-and-so told me about your catalog and I checked it out and I really love da-da-da-da-da-da about what you do. Or maybe you're like, hey, I heard you on the Sync Society call, because every month in our private sync community, we bring in a licensing agency, we bring in a music supervisor, we bring in a producer that's doing stuff in sync. Maybe you heard about them, you know, in one of those calls, and they're like, oh yeah, I love that workshop. I love those people. Like, let me see who this person is. And you have a way of connecting with them. I heard what you said. I really loved that you are, you know, such an advocate for real music, and that you go to bat for the independent artist by whatever they might have said. Then you're going to say a little thing about you, your elevator pitch. And that is basically what I just said. I make music that's such and such sounding. People have compared me to such and such and such and such. It's about one sentence. It's not long. And it doesn't say, you know, I went to school here and I got a scholarship for this. And then I went to school. Then I dropped out of music because I couldn't make it work. And now I'm back in music again. It doesn't tell your whole story. And, you know, has a little personality in there, gives a little color to what it is, the music that they're going to hear today. And then you say, you know, I'm looking for sync rep for this music, and I love your company, and I would, you know, I'd love to be considered. So you're very clear on why it is you're emailing them as well. You know, you're straightforward. You know, this is one-stop music, and you're clear that you know the business side of it. You invite them to check out a link to your playlist. You don't go into every song on that playlist and what it is and what it sounds like and the story behind it. If you're inviting them to check it out, and then you give them a really nice thank you. Thank you for your time. I know you're really busy. Really appreciate all that you do for the independent artists, or whatever it is you might say. And then you close it out. And David is going to give you, you know, some real strategies on this formula, and how you can elaborate on it, and how you can really think about what you're sending. And I want to just leave you with this idea that, one of the tips that I always would do when I was writing these pitch emails from my licensing agency is I would write the people that I knew the best first. You know, my friends, the people that I've gone to lunch with, the ones that I can call on the phone, I can send a quick text message to. What am I going to send to them? Like, how am I going to be, is it going to be this buttoned up, hello, good day, I am writing you because I want to let you, you know, this very formal email that feels like a copy and paste? Or am I going to be like, hey, you know, oh, I just got back from the beach and I whatever, blah, 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 like something that gives some sort of sense of fluidity and honesty and real communication. So if you write your email to somebody that you know, and then you look at it and you're like, would I send this to somebody that I know? You can start to kind of tweak the language. You can take out, most of the time, you can take out about 50% of what you write. So you write your draft, you shorten it by 50%, you pretend you're writing it to somebody that you know, you change the wording a little bit, and that's a really great tip. And I would always change the email based on that. Okay, so after David, I'm going to also take a little bit of time to let you guys know about our private community, because here's the deal. For August, we're bringing in a licensing agency that we're partnering with, and we're only opening up 15 spots for August. So if you've been thinking about joining our private sync community, I know most of you guys on this call are in Sync Society, which is amazing. But we're only opening 15 spots because we want to give each person that we're onboarding enough time of hours, and anybody who joins us for August will also get a 30-minute free consult with us to jumpstart like where you're at and where you can go and what you should be doing. So if you're thinking about it and you want to grab one of those spots, I will go into detail and answer all your questions, you know, after we get through the details of this awesome material. But just so you know, yeah, there's limited spots this month. All right, I am going to bring in, well, actually, okay, can you speak, David, so I can find you?
Me over here.
Hey, yes, there you are.
Hey,
Hey, all right.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to just spotlight us so we can have a little
Okay.
conversation.
A
All
little
right,
back and forth.
so
After what you said, I have not much to, to complete that thought. Everything that you said, I concur. I agree with everything that you said. It's nothing that I disagreed with at all.
but you have also some strategies and rules that you
Oh yeah.
share
I'm
with
gonna
high schools are
get to that,
amazing.
but
Oh, okay.
I'm just starting off with
Oh, okay, cool.
one of the reasons why I've been in contact with Sonnet and John and 2Andy is I've just give you a little backstory. I've been in this game since 1986. I
Wow.
started scoring TV shows right out of high school. I started working for Time Warner doing their commercials and doing radio spots. And so I did my first independent movie score in 1987. And I've been producing records since then.
Wow.
So this has been my life. And this is not by chance. This is something that I chose to do as my purpose in life. And I've never stopped. I continue to do this today. But one of the reasons why I reached out to Sonnet and John was I actually knew of them through Catch the Moon, but didn't realize who they were until they started the 2Indie thing.
Hmm.
And once I started watching how they were creating the community and how they were responding to that community and what they're providing, again, having been in this business this long, you see a lot of people that come to the table and say, I've got a class, I've got a community, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about sync. You're going to make 6, 7 figures a year in sync, and this is how you do it. That is not the case. It is just not. It just isn't. But what Sonnet and John do is they present it to you that, yes, this is, you have the potential to do this, and we're going to give you the skills and the insight to do so. But you really have to do it on your own. They're not going to, they're not responsible for it. And that's what I appreciate about what they're doing. So that's why I wanted to come on here and start this communication and start this this relationship with them. It's because I like what they're doing. I believe in what they're doing. And as somebody who continues to do this as a profession, it's very important that a community exists where there is trust and there is confidence and there is commitment. And that's what I see in what they're doing. So you're in a very good place with joining this call. Now, I'm just a secondary thought, and I'm just going to give you some concepts and ideas because people have been reaching out to me, and not just from the 2Indie, but from all over the world and in different communities.
Hmm.
The first things that I see in my email is somebody has taken and their subject header is they've gone to my website and they've pulled out some kind of point that might get my attention, like, oh, they've been to my website.
Hmm.
They've done a little research. When they haven't done any research, they haven't thoroughly gone through and listened to my artists and looked at my past and looked at some of the other syncs and the success that we've had. They just pull something out, like one of the big points on my website is 1.3 billion in audience. So when somebody pulls that and throws that up there, I'm like,
Hmm.
they're just pulling one of the finer points and just sticking it up there. And it's just to grab my attention. That's not what I want. And as somebody who still has to pitch, what I want in a subject is just be yourself, be real. What are you coming to me for? What is your purpose? I have music that fits your needs. I see you're working on something. I have music that fits that. I see you've used that. I am like this. Grab my attention with something that I can use and turn. And as soon as I get into your email, it's a reflection of that. Hello, my name is, and this is what I do. So basically, I have a 5-second rule that I've been teaching for a couple of decades. It's a 5-second rule per line in an email. And this is just to get you to think. This is not, rock solid promise that this works. It's just guidance. It's insight. 5 seconds. What is your purpose? In 5 seconds, read that first line. What is your purpose? Why are you contacting with me? 5 seconds. The next thing, what's your pitch? What's your proposal? 5 seconds. I have music that fits your need. You have music like this on your website. I think I fit in there. Oh, that's it. There's your 5 seconds.
Hmm.
And then the next one is either provide a link or are you cool with me sending stuff? And now this varies between different supervisors. A lot of people send me links, but I just want one link. I like using Disco. I like going one place,
Mhm.
and I want to hear the best thing you have to offer me, the best thing right off the top. If you've got 3, 4, 5 things on there, and the first one isn't the best, you've already lost me. My
Mm.
time is so valuable to me
Mhm.
that I listen to things for 3 and 5 seconds. I'm not kidding. I just listen to things, and if it's not captivating enough, I'm going to skip. And if the next thing isn't captivating enough, I'm not going any further.
Mm.
I'm just not, because there are people in this profession that know exactly what I want. They research me, or they've worked with me in the past, and they know my clientele. So, Dave, you need something for NBA. You need an R&B, hard hitting, more driving. I've got this. I got you covered. So when people send me stuff that just isn't up to par, it's kind of a letdown, because if the email is strong and you've hit that, you've got my attention for 15 seconds, 3 lines, this is who I am, this is my purpose, here, check it out. I think we can work together. I think I can be of service to you, because that's really what you are. You are in service to me, to the music supervisor,
Mhm.
and you are a brand. So how you present yourself as that brand to me, that's where your value comes in,
Mm.
because I see who you are. And this is all based on collaborative efforts. This industry is built on relationships. Everything in my life has been built on relationships, and my authenticity in those relationships, being humble, just being, and you can't really call yourself humble, but having humility,
Mhm. Mhm.
and just being honest. I would much rather somebody send me an email that says, I love what you do. I'm new to this. I have some music that I think fits your needs based on the artists that you have. Here's a link. If it's not what you're looking for, maybe you can give me some advice, or give me your opinion, or be subjective or objective. I'm open to that too. If somebody's being really honest with me, saying this is my first rodeo,
Mm.
if there's something really good about it, if there's something good, I want to help this person. Because at
Mm.
this point in my career, it's like, you never know what you're going to discover. And that's the beauty about these communities, is you don't know who's hiding out in there.
Mm.
The next Hans Zimmer could be hanging out in the chat room right now,
Mm.
or the next HBO theme could be hanging out in the chat room. I don't know until that person approaches me.
Mm.
But that's how I like to be approached in my career, is just be straight with me. Just be completely 100% straight with me. And that's the best email. Like like you're writing to a friend, like Sonnet said. I can't tell you how many times I will sit there, and it might be days before I press send, because I'm sitting there editing, and I'll sleep on it, and I'll come back in and go, it's just not it. There's too much. There's just a sprinkle of bullshit in there that it's
Mhm.
just not
Mhm.
it's just not hitting me right.
Mhm.
And I just have to get deeper down, peeling the onion, becoming myself, and going, I can go into the resistance, I can let go of the fear, let go of the self-doubt, and I still have these issues in being in this industry this long. It's all about confidence, and the more you do it, the more confident you will be at sending these emails.
Mm.
But it really comes down to everything that Sonnet said is exactly right. It really is. But I just use this little trick. Keep it quick, keep it concise. What is your purpose? What is your pitch? What is your proposal? Give me a link. If you need to, ask me for permission. I don't want bios. And one thing I will say that makes me nuts is when an artist gets one of their representatives to contact me, and they build it up. It's a great email. It's all the music is great. It's all right there. And then all of a sudden, I reach back out and go, this is fantastic. What about this? Who owns the rights? Where are the masters? Is this a one stop? Where's the publishing? And they go, oh, I don't know any of that. I have no idea what that's all about. He just gave me or she just gave me, this list of things to tell you in the email, and this is what I did. So you don't have to get in touch with him. Should I set up a call? Immediately, I'm like, no, because this is how you're setting up, our relationship already. And that's just not what I want. It doesn't matter if it's the best music I've heard. But when I'm approached by somebody that knows nothing about what they're representing, I'm out. And the last thing, just like Sonnet said, if you send me something and it's not what I'm looking for, and I'm very kind when I reply, it just doesn't fit my needs, doesn't fit my artist category or the genres and stuff. I'm not looking for this right now. The next email is, in desperation, what do you need? I can do anything you need. I can do it all. What genres are you looking for? I do multiple genres. I can get it to you in 24 hours. No, you can't. No, you can't. Because whether you think you're great at all these things, I know what you're best at. And that's all I want. I want what you are best at, what thrills you, what keeps you up at night, what wakes you up in the morning. What are you so excited to share with people? That's what I want to hear. If it moves you, it's going to move me. If you're just filling up a list to show that you've got catalog, pass. Always send something that resonates with you, something that represents your brand, something that represents your truth, who you are. And this is how I've created my life, is just being honest, throwing it out there, caution to the wind, like it or not. And I've been denied, can't tell you how many times my stuff's been rejected. But that's not what it's about. The rejection is just, it's like Thomas Edison, 999 light bulbs before one worked. Nobody said, 999 times you failed. He said, no. 999 times I got closer to getting it right. And that's the way I am. I'm always thinking about that. I write constantly. It's an illness. I'm always writing. I'm always producing. But the best bit of advice that I got from somebody who was very, very high up, an owner of a very huge catalog called Riptide. I was signed to their fledgling company before they became Riptide in 2005. And I was sending this guy 3 and 4 things a day.
Wow.
And he finally called me from his phone in his car, driving in Los Angeles. David, I love the relationship that we're building here. You need to do me a favor. I went, what? He said, stop sending me stuff. Just stop. You're very prolific. I love what you're doing. The quality is great. Stop sending me stuff. Because what's happening is you're sending me one thing that's amazing that I know that I can do something with. And then you send me another thing that's amazing that I know that I can do something with. And it takes my focus off that one thing that I know that I can do something with. So I keep changing my pattern. I keep changing my path with you. Let me secure one thing for you. And once I secure that, give me something else that I can secure. It didn't stop me from creating this massive catalog to present to him, but there is some truth in this. So anytime that you reach out to somebody, make it the best possible thing that you can stand behind. And if they say, how much more of this magic do you have? Can you create? You have to be able to do that again and again and again. It's your brand. It's your voice. So with that being said, I give it back to you. I hope that was insightful. I hope there was something.
Bazano. It was so good. People in the chat, let me know.
Thank you so
Put
much.
a 1 in the chat if you're feeling this. If you're feeling it, drop a 1. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I was 3 years old back then. That's funny.
Amazing. Yeah, and that is the magic. Like, David, you just reached out in an email and you're like, oh, hey, I see you're doing a workshop. Like, I'm available. I'm like, can I call you right now? Can you come in? Like, let's chat, because this, like, music, we are all here. It's like this therapy session, we're living a real life. It's not just write an email that's buttoned up, that's very, professional sounding and send it off and copy and paste it. It's like, there is a humanity in making music and there's a humanity in being in the music industry. And the more that we peel the layer, the onion, and that we can be more honest and we can be more vulnerable and we can show up without the desperation or without the struggling, starving artist, mask on, the more that we can be like, meet the other person where they're at. And I really love everything that you shared from such an honest place, and you really help make it clear, if you guys are interested in Sync Society, this is what we do. And I didn't even mean to do this today, but like, we bring in agencies to talk to every month to get their take on it, and we bring in music supervisors to tell you what they're working on and how they work and what they like to listen to. And you get a call at these industry introduction calls, so that it's not just me being like, this is my experience, but you're learning who's who in the industry and what do they need and how do they work and what inspires them. And that's how you take your seat at the table. You meet other like-minded music makers around the world. You create music that matters and you learn who the players are so that you can be in relationship with them. And David, I appreciate how you are real. You're not like, well, if you do this and this, then it'll get there. But you're like, you got to work hard. You got to show up. You got to do the work, and you need to have a high bar for the music. We're kind of all just assuming the music is good because you guys are all phenomenal music makers. But you also need to check yourself and make sure that music is really that pro level. And, like David said, 3 to 5 seconds. And it's not because it's disrespectful, it's because you're really busy. You're doing a lot of things and you've got a lot of responsibilities for the job that you have. If it doesn't hit you in 3 to 5 seconds, that's not the song for you.
Can I share
So,
something really quick,
yeah,
Sonnet?
please. I want to hear it.
So, talking about you being at the top of your game and making sure that the music that you are servicing is the best quality. When I got into this, like when I started my own publishing company and my own sync agency, which was 2008,
Mm.
somebody from another company said to me, all right, hotshot, so you think you got some good stuff here. Do you know who your competition is? And I just thought really quickly, yeah, all the other guys in sync music.
Mm.
He was like, no.
Mm.
I was like, what do you mean, no? He's like, every artist you can think of, every producer you can think of, every engineer you can think of, every publisher you can think of, every songwriter you can think of, every composer you can think of that has a name is your competition. And at that time, I found out that 9 times out of 10, everybody on the radio to get around their publishing deals and their record deals were ghostwriters for sync and
Mm.
licensing. And I
Mm.
came up on one that, believe it or not, was a Sheryl Crow track. And I had no idea, but that's my competition.
Mm.
And then I found out that every other composer has 10 people that are interning and they're mentoring. All 10 of those people that are just as good as that main composer, they are my competition. So when you have this mindset, it kind of screws with you for a second. You're like, so wait a minute. Danny Elfman is my competition? This is true. Yes, Danny Elfman, all the music that he does for all these hit shows and hit movies, there's a surplus of 100 tracks
Mhm.
that publisher and that sync agent that represents him, they will service back into the industry, back into the sync community.
Mm.
And once you realize this, that they have just as much of a high output as you do, but it's at that level and they have a brand and they have a name. Even though they're not using their name, it goes under a secondary label, just much like a wine. It's it's still them, and people know it's them.
Mm.
So you have to keep that in mind, that what you're sending out there, it really has to be on that level.
Mm.
Now there is room for, I don't want to call it sub-level, but I like to call it rootsy, homegrown.
Mm.
There's a lot of use for that as well. But to play this game, it's about establishing your name, establishing your brand, and establishing a quality that you can constantly reproduce. And that's, I just wanted to put that out there, because what you're talking about, you have to be, so specific in what you're presenting. It really is a make or break in this industry. And I will tell you, I'm not going to take up too much more of your time
No, this
on it.
is perfect.
I was pitching for a huge TV show, and I left it up to my intern to do the email and send out the links. And I thought that I had done a pretty good job of making it clear. I have a template of emails and things like that, and I'd sit down and go, okay, we're sending this to this big TV show. Send a link and have these 3 songs on the disco. Well, when I saw the reply come back from this huge music supervisor, none of these links work. Too much info. Thank you.
Yay. That gives me like heart
And
palpitations.
I just went, how hard is this? 3 lines. And we had an in. This wasn't like just blind. This was, I knew who this person was, worked with them in the past. My name's on the email. It's coming from my email. And I actually had to reach back out to her and go, that wasn't me. I'm so embarrassed. I thought that I could relinquish this to somebody else, and obviously not. But it was just that one
yikes.
thing. And that was it. Off the show. I could no
Yeah.
longer pitch for that show.
Oh, that's such a good thing to bring forward. Like it is a small industry, and that is why it's incredibly important to understand how to present what you do, own that, to be professional and to be friendly, and to know that that kind of a situation, you may never, you could have jeopardized that relationship or that intern. That makes my heart just like, skip a beat, just knowing that sort of stress. We've all made different mistakes like that where one time I sent an email and I meant to BC everybody and I CC'd everybody, and like they all had the emails of everybody, every supervisor, and I was like, luckily it was all supervisors, like it wasn't just supervisors and artists, but I was like, ay, that was double, triple, quadruple check. But yeah, those are such great things. And I also want to just speak to the idea of all these people being your competition, making sure your music really is at that level, knowing that like that's the bar. That's the bar. You're not sending demos and getting feedback. Like that's the bar for the emails that you're sending. And also, everybody's your competition, but everybody's also a collaborator. Like we are here, we are huge advocates for the collaborator and for collaboration. If you're working with somebody who's got a deal, who's signed with a licensing agency, and you're starting to co-write with them, or maybe you're helping produce this artist, or maybe you are an artist and you're being produced by somebody who works with an agency all the time, you're starting to co-mingle and co-create in the world of the industry. And now those people that are your competitors are on your team, and you are now in the team and you are working together, and you create those teams by being in community and by owning what you bring to the table really well. And so what's your superpower? What is your strength? What is it that you can offer that team? And I feel like as an independent artist or as a music creator, it's easy to get overwhelmed by, oh my gosh, there's so much music and it's all out there. And then if you start thinking like, okay, how do I build this team? How do I like create a bridge between those people that are doing awesome, amazing things? Like what can I do to create with them? And how can I create a community there? And part of that is in Sync Society, part of our community. So I'm going to take a second right now to tell you about Sync Society, and to let you know, this is what we do. We bring in individuals from the industry to talk and to share and to give you their insight and to give you their advice. And we also, the agency gives us 6 different briefs. So for the month, you get 6 different briefs. You get to choose one that you write to. And at the end of the month, your songs are due. Everybody sends in their song. The top songs are put on our sampler. And we send out that sampler to about 15 to 20 different agencies. And about 60 to 100% of that sampler gets signed by agencies every month. So our thing that we stand for in the Sing Society, we are independent artists. This is why we have created this, is because we want a friendlier, more supportive industry that is results oriented. People are getting signed and people are getting placements and people are learning who the industry people are and how to show up professionally and how to own what it is that they do and work with other people in the community. People are in Germany, people are in Australia, people are in France, people are all over the world working together and creating music to submit for these samplers at the end of the month and getting those songs signed. And I can't tell you how amazing it is to get people to hear, oh, I got my song on a show, I got my song on this show, like, and I know that's the agency that they signed with from our sampler. And it's happening all the time. And as an independent music maker, that is why we created this community. So there are only 15 spots for August. Usually we don't have a cap on it, but we're only opening it up to 15 people because we're also offering a 30-minute free consult to anybody who does join for August, because we want to make sure we're meeting the new people and we're really connecting with them and making sure that they know where to go and how to show up and how to really take advantage of this beautiful community and not get lost, in the shuffle. So I'll have Julianne drop the link there. You guys can take a peek around. You can email me, whatever you want to do in order to kind of feel out, is this the right thing for you? And if you have questions on it, drop it in the chat. And I also just want to open it up to questions in general around pitch emails, around pitching your music for myself and for David for these last 8 minutes. I am ending on time. I am definitely a person who likes to stick with the time limits. So 8 minutes of Q&A. You guys go ahead, hit us with your best questions. What you got? Dun, 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 dun. Nobody has any questions. David, we just did such a great job. Wow. Okay, Linka says, Sana, I'm interested in the course you're offering. I'd check the link so I can sign up for 1 month membership. Okay, yeah, so there's 3 options. You can sign up just to check it out for a month, and you can sign up to, which is it's more expensive to just do it for a month, but you certainly can. You can just check it out. Or for discounted, you can sign up for the year, or you can sign up for the entire year all at once. You can pay in full, and that's the biggest discount, to pay for the whole year. And it is more than a course. There is lots of information on how to write a great song. We bring in producers. You're getting song feedback every week. We're listening to songs. Supervisors are listening to songs. Gary Calamar was with us on Tuesday, and I just sent him a playlist of songs that he wanted, that he heard. So people are listening. You're getting song feedback every week from the agency, from the supervisor, from the producer, and you're also getting this opportunity to submit for this sampler. So it's not just a course, but it's more of a container to create and get song feedback and keep you really accountable to showing up for your career. And it's not just like, watch these videos and then you're going to figure out what to do. This is an implementation experience, and it's a very live, hands-on experience. Do newbies have to join August 1st? You just need to join by the first call for August is August 6th. We meet on Tuesdays. You get 4 calls a week, a month, where you meet industry people. And so that's Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then you get 4 calls a month that are more social driven. Like we do songwriting, we do feedback sessions, and we do building core skills around songwriting and production. So you get a total of 8 calls a month. So is there a Spotify for the sampler collections? No, we do not. Most of these songs are new songs, and they're not released. So there's not a Spotify sampler. They're on our disco and we send them out. But if you are in the community, you do get a playlist. somewhat where you get to hear the songs that are on the sampler, and you get to see what's working, what's not, which songs were signed. There's a Facebook community where all of this action happens. Oh, sorry. More detailed or specifics are the briefs you're getting from the agencies. Yes. So the briefs you get 6 briefs. They are from the agencies, the supervisor, the producer. The agency usually gives somewhere between 4 to 6, but if they don't give us all 6, then we'll grab a few from the supervisor or the producer to make sure that you get 6 different briefs. So you're looking at, these briefs are based on what are they seeing? What are they needing more of? What are some of the trends? What is stuff that people don't have enough of? And you get to pick one brief to write to. And some people are writing to a lot because they're doing different teams. So they may have worked on 3 different songs that are submitted, but each person, you can only submit one. So somebody from the other team has to submit the other songs. But, you know, some people are singing all the songs. They've written on a bunch of songs. You can definitely create teams and work on a ton of songs and have more than one song that ends up on that sampler. Question for David. I saw something coming up. Okay. You were talking about 5-second parts on emails. What was the second section? Purpose?
Yeah,
Number 2.
just answered. It was
Oh,
pitch
cool.
and proposal.
Okay, cool. Nice. Is it true that song lengths are being reduced to 130, and do you edit them for your link that you send out with your letter to sync agencies? Oh, okay, got it. Okay, we can both answer this. I would say full song plus instrumental is what you're sending. You're not doing the cut downs for them unless you are sending to like a library that could use that. And that's like what they've written out in there. Hey, please send me your cut downs and your 30 seconds and all of that. But if you are an artist or you are presenting artist music, let them know that you create real songs, because real songs matter, like not just a cut down of a great hook. David, I'd love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, real songs, vocal songs, artist-driven songs are more valuable today, I believe, than they ever were. So many TV shows, so many outlets are looking for real artists, because the way it works is if they can promote the artist along with what they're doing with the music, it's a win-win for both. So the full length of the song, unless the brief comes from somebody like myself or from somebody else where it says specifically 90 seconds. I did one 3 months ago where there was no time on it. They just sent me a 60-second clip and said, we're looking for something like this. I returned a 60-second clip and they came back and said, sorry, we needed 2 minutes. I was like, I would have just copied and pasted and given you 2 minutes. But it's just little things like this that you have to pay attention to. But I didn't know. So I don't think there's really any time limit. I think it's specific to the need. Just do your best work. That's all.
Hallelujah. Make the best music.
Make the best music.
There's a bunch of other questions in here. I guess I missed these. Let's see. When submitting to music supervisors, what if your song has a 5 to 7 second intro? That is okay. I think depending on the music supervisor, you know, ads are kind of like, they just start, they're ready, they want it to be something that grabs them, that has builds, that has levels. Television, it uses intros and uses outros to help you get from one scene to another. So if you just start, they're like, I've got nothing for this transition to get into the song. So don't feel like a 5 to second, you know, if your intro is really long and they're like, this must be an instrumental, I'm not sure if there's a vocal in this, that, you know, how many times have I like skipped ahead and like, is there a vocal in this?
Yep.
Don't let them not know that, you know, don't let it be so long that they don't know. Is there a secret to writing, recording references that aren't intimidating? I'm not sure I understand. Writing, recording references that aren't intimidating. I'm not sure I understand that question.
It's all intimidating.
Yeah.
All of it's intimidating.
What
This
you
is
mean
intimidating.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's all intimidating. Okay, we've got just a few more minutes here. I sometimes also mentor check artists. Oh, about sync, and repeated question is, where do they meet supervisors, music sync industry people? Where does David hang out? You meet them in this community. You meet them in Sync Society. You meet them at conferences. You meet them by being a part of communities that have them on and where they are chatting, and you can meet them at coffee shops. They're real human beings, right? Where do you hang out, David? Everybody's going to go check out where your favorite restaurant and coffee shop.
Right here. I'm in this room every day, all the time, except when I go out and hang out with my kids and things like that. Yeah, it's depressing for other people. For me, I love it. Like, don't you ever get out of your house? I don't get out much. It's just I have kids and a business and a career. I go on vacation. That's about it. Unless you can stalk me while I'm going to, on vacation. I'm not going to tell you. I just came back from the Jersey Shore. It was great.
Amazing. That sounds
Where
fun.
where do I hang out? You can find me if you Google me on the internet. There's a couple different places you can find me at my publishing site. Feel free, anybody on here, feel free to reach out. DEJ@gearkidswifehouse.com.
Wow,
Or
you are so generous.
yourcreativetruth.com. Just reach out to me if I can be of service. If I can help you out, I will. Don't bombard me with 100 songs, but if there's something that you're stuck and you just need a little push or you need a little guidance, I'm totally open to that. That's what I do primarily. I think I'm going to join this community, which I think I am a member of the community, but I might just join the community so I'm in there, and if I'm in there and you see me and you go, hey, I have a question, I'm
Well,
totally
send me an
open to it.
email if you're joining us. We would be so thrilled to have you.
Yeah, right on.
So I think so many questions in here, and you are beyond generous, David. Like literally, I didn't ask him. You are just beyond generous with your time, giving your contact information, offering to show up here today, offering your insight and your truth. And I'm beyond impressed and so inspired. One person asked, I just want to answer this question. So this is clear. Do you get to keep all the syncs that come through? So we pass on the music. We give you the brief. We pass on the music to the agencies. If they sign you, that is a deal with you and them. We do not take a commission. We do not take a cut. We do not take any ownership. We are simply the person that connects you. We are the connectors. There are a lot of questions. So listen, I have a little Calendly, if you want to book a 5-minute call with me where you can I can help answer your questions. This is the link. You can book a little 5-minute chat with me, and I can help answer your questions around Sync Society, if it's the right thing for you, what you can do next in order to make sure that you're doing what you need to do. And yeah, so if you want to book that, book it. And either myself or John will hop on there. And yeah, you guys, overall, it's okay, cold emails. So what we were really talking today was about agencies, emailing your music to sync agencies, not so much about supervisors. If you do email a supervisor, you want to be really clear on what are they working on, what are they not working on, and watch some interviews with them, get a feel for who they are, hear them talk on a panel, because that is a more direct route that you want to create a relationship with that person, because they're probably most likely not working on something that can use your music in that exact moment, but you want to be in relationship with them. And so that is why we bring a music supervisor on every month in Sync Society, so that you can start to understand, what are they working on? What did they work on before? Like what kind of stuff, how do they work? Yeah, so it is okay to cold email sync agencies for sure. Sometimes they say no solicited, unsolicited material, we don't accept. So if that's the case, you're not going to have an email to send them, but you're going to figure out a way around that. If you're like, I know this is the right agency for me, is there somebody on that? And I need to hop off because I am not staying to my word here of clicking right at 11. Is there somebody on that, on their roster that I know, that I've worked with? Do I have a manager or a lawyer or a friend who might know this person who can make an intro? The reason they don't accept unsolicited material is that they want some sort of vetted source to let them know that you're a legitimate artist or music maker that they can trust. Okay, you guys have the link to book a one-on-one with me. If you want to do that, you can do that. It's a 5-minute little call. I'm not going to be doing like a big coaching session with you, but I can help kind of answer your questions around Sync Society if that works for you. And David, you are
Yes.
phenomenal. I am so,
No, thank
so,
you.
so grateful for you being on this call with me today and everybody joining this call. You know, we have a million places that we can be every day, showing up for our craft, showing up for who we are, and asking your questions. This is what we're here for, right? We're here because we're all pulled to make music and it's of value and it's needed. And so go into the world, share who you are, share your music, and use these parameters from which you do it. Okay, my friends? All right, David, email me if you want to join the community because we would love to have you there. Okay.
I will do it. And I
Goodbye,
want to see
my
you all
friends.
in here. I want to see you all in here.
Bye.